What's up, everybody? It's your boy Baddog here with another New York Giants video. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. Both of those help out the channel more than you know, and it's free and easy to do. Apologize for the appearance. Just got done with the gym, which reminds me, if you don't know, maybe a lot of you guys and girls do know, I have a fitness channel that I'm trying to grow. Almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to leave the link down below for my fitness channel. I want to do more content on there. I'm going to talk about my workouts, my diet. Maybe someday I'll cook on there if I can live stream from my phone. Can you imagine me cooking? That'd be pretty funny, right? But seriously, if you guys would like to know some of the things that I do in the gym or part of my diet or whatever, I'm going to leave the link below. It'd be awesome if you guys could subscribe to that and get me to 1,000. That'd be awesome. Obviously, the big news today was Russell Wilson. Everybody covered that. I'm not going to cover that today in this video. I do want to talk about Patrick Graham and the rumors as to why he left. Now, this is on NJ.com, so I found this article pretty interesting, and I don't think that this is any big surprise for anybody, but I kind of wanted to go over it and give my thoughts, and of course, I would love to know your opinion down below in the comment section, what you think about, Patrick Graham going to Las Vegas and leaving the Giants. So this came out today, and it says Brian Daboll wanted Patrick Graham to be his defensive coordinator. I think we all knew that Graham was going to stay on board, and at the last minute, he kind of jumped ship and went to Vegas. But they also say Graham was a candidate to replace Joe Judge, but Daboll got the job pretty quickly, so obviously that rubbed Graham the wrong way, with good reason. But here we go. So this is a source says multiple factors rubbed Graham the wrong way, particularly the way his friend Judge was fired after 2 years by owners who promised to be patient with the young coach. So I'm going to start with this, with Joe Judge. Now listen, man, I'm a very emotional fan, and I admit that I am a fanatic. And when you love something with all your heart for 40 years, you get a little bit attached with it. I've been a Giants fan for 40 years almost, and obviously I've seen the good times and I've seen the bad times. And this day and age, when you don't produce pretty quickly because of social media, regardless of what people think, the owners do listen. And John Mara didn't want to hurt his customers. This is still a business to him. And obviously the fans' voices were very loud about Joe Judge's performance this year. I don't think that it was wrong to fire Joe Judge. And I'll tell you why. Last year, and this is the thing, I go into this year, well, let me say this. Joe Judge's first year, I went with really no expectations. I expected the Giants to win 6 games, and that's exactly what they did. They went 6-10, but I was very complimentary of Judge because the Giants competed. They played hard. They were in a lot of games, and they dealt with a lot of injuries, and they were still able to compete and improve. Last year, though, they took a massive step back, and Joe Judge looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing out there. If the years would have been reversed, if Joe Judge would have won 4 games his first season and had the 2020 season this year, he would have never been fired, right? But it was pretty obvious that Joe Judge was starting to lose it. He was starting to crack a little bit. Again, I think, you hear the fans in New York. We are an impatient bunch. We expect a lot from our teams. And again, I'm a guy that saw a lot of good with the New York Giants over the course of my years. And in the last 10 years, they've been really bad. They haven't won a division title in 10 years. People are like, Baddog, you're too impatient. I am impatient. I own that. I am impatient. And that's just me. I'm an impatient guy. And most New Yorkers are by nature. But impatient or not, there's no denying the fact that the New York Giants have been the worst team in football with the Jets over the last 5 years. We haven't won a division title since 2011. We haven't won a playoff game in 10 years either. So that's not really being impatient. I think maybe impatient with Joe Judge, but the organization as a whole, I think 10 years is plenty of time to get your act together. So I can't really say that that's a good reason for Patrick Graham to leave because of the way they treated Joe Judge. I will say this. I think Patrick Graham was the best coach that we've had here in the last 4 years, at least since Shermer was here. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He was better than Honey Hamhead Betcher. He was better than, Shermer. He was better than Judge. He was better than Garrett. He was better than Freddie Kitchens. He was the best coach we had, and I would have liked him to stay here because I felt like he did a really good job with the defense. But at the same time, it's probably better to not have anybody from the old regime and just kind of move it all away. I hope Patrick Graham kills it over there in Vegas. And I have no ill will towards Joe Judge either. None at all. I have no ill will towards Joe Judge. I hope that now I picked a little fun at him on Twitter saying, oh, good luck, Mac Jones, since he's going to be working with Mac Jones. But I'm not going to sit here and go, God, I hope Joe Judge fails. I don't care anymore. He's not a Giant. I only care when they're Giants. Like, I don't care what else they do, being with the Patriots or being with Vegas. I wish them nothing but the best. So that reasoning to me, that was kind of, I don't really understand that in particular. It did say that, he was also a coach when they got rid of McAdoo. But again, McAdoo lost the locker room, and that's why he got fired. I don't know if Joe Judge lost the locker room, but I do know was the 11-minute rant. The back-to-back quarterback sneaks pretty much gave him his one-way ticket out of town. So I'm not going to sit there and say, well, geez, that was a good reason for that. But, it goes on to say, that Graham was a defensive line coach of McAdoo and everything else, and that's fine. I will say this. So where's this? It says aspects of the Brian Flores' lawsuit didn't sit well with Graham, and I understand that. That I do understand. That was a messy situation. I really don't know what's going on with that situation at the moment, but it's messy, and it didn't look good on the New York Giants at all. So I completely understand Graham's opinion on that. That alone would be a good reason for him to leave if he strongly felt, obviously he feels very strongly about it with good reason. Like I said, it didn't paint the Giants in a positive way, this whole thing with Brian Flores. And again, I don't know where that lawsuit stands or what's going on with Brian Flores, but obviously this did not do anything to paint the Giants in a positive light at all. Also, it says, according to the source, Graham didn't like when Daboll and Shane announced that he'd be back before he interviewed with the Vikings, which again, I understand this too, because Patrick Graham obviously interviewed with the New York Giants as a head coach. He had an interview to be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, and Joe Shane and Brian Daboll had already assumed that he wasn't going to get that job with the Minnesota Vikings. So obviously, maybe Patrick Graham felt a little slighted, say these guys don't believe I'm good enough to be a head coach in the NFL, and that's what they think of me. They've already assumed that I'm going to be back here, that I'm not going to get a head coaching job in the NFL. So again, I can understand why Patrick Graham would have been rubbed the wrong way about that. Listen, I have no problem with Patrick Graham's reasoning for going to Vegas at all. Like I said, the thing about them firing Joe Judge, that it's kind of like, what do you expect? Joe Judge was a train wreck here. There's no doubt about it. The Giants were going down, and they were going down in flames. And every week it got worse. Every week they lost worse. Then he lost it with the media. He had the big blow up, and then the back-to-back quarterback sneaks. There's just no way you're going to stay here in New York when you do something like that. And part of me thinks that Joe Judge wanted out of here. And I don't blame Joe Judge for that either, because you got guys like me. Girls are the same way. These New Yorkers are tough, man. It don't matter if you're a guy, girl, no matter if you're old, young, you're going to voice your opinion here. It's a big media market. Like I said, we expect a lot from our teams. We are tough. The big cities are tough. Chicago is tough. Los Angeles is tough. Boston's tough. Philly's tough. New York is tough. These big market teams the fan base expects a lot of their organization. And again, I don't think that this is really on Joe Judge. I think this is kind of the straw that's breaking the camel's back, because we've been bad for so long. And then, like I said, the embarrassing way the Giants finished the season, there was no doubt Joe Judge was not going to come back here. And there's no way, that they could. But like I said, I thought this was an interesting article as to the reasoning. And again, these are rumors. It says a source. We don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. But again, I found this article very interesting as to the reasoning that Patrick Graham left. Like I said, I don't believe that this is anything surprising. I think a lot of people knew his reasoning. I think a lot of people thought it was just a Brian Flores thing in general. So I figured I would mention the fact about the Minnesota Viking position. I don't know if people knew about that. And obviously, I don't know if people knew about that. He was upset that, that they let Joe Judge go after 2 years after ownership said they were going to be patient with Joe Judge. And like I said earlier in the video, if we're 4-12 his rookie season with COVID and the injuries in his first year, and then we're 6-11 last year, Joe Judge isn't fired. And again, I don't believe that he deserved to come back here for a third year. I definitely do not. All we can hope for as Giants fans is that Shane gets this draft right, because this is enormous. Starts to get this organization right. Daboll does a good job. Wink Martindale does a good job. We got to hope that these guys figure it out. And obviously Kafka, this coaching staff and this GM, this regime of the New York Giants has to get this right. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we go through another 2 years of crap, you're going to hear the same things. Going into this year, you're not going to hear. I didn't knock Joe Judge one time, except for against Arizona. I said, I don't understand why he was playing Daniel Jones with a bad hamstring in the second half when we were getting killed and it was obvious he was hurt. It was the only time I questioned him his rookie season. Last year, obviously, I had a lot of problems with Joe Judge. But you don't, listen, we lose. I can't guarantee that I'm not going to sit there and rant and be pissed because I don't like losing. I don't like when the Giants lose. But at the same time, I'm not going to be sitting there calling for these guys' jobs after year one. I'm not that impatient. I'm impatient. I'm not that impatient. I don't expect a ton from the Giants. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. But much like Joe Judge's rookie season, I don't really have high expectations for the Giants. Like I said, hopefully they surprise me and they do well. But what I do expect from this coaching regime, it's the same thing I expected from Joe Judge. Whatever they put out in the field in 2022, I expect better of them in 2023. And I don't think that any New York Giants fan should feel differently because this is not a team that's been good for the last 10 years. This is not a team that's been competing and a team that's been in the playoffs and just not making it to the Super Bowl, not winning a Super Bowl. This has been a really, really bad team for 10 years. So I think Giants fans should expect improvement no matter who the hell the coaching staff is from year to year when you've been this bad. Anyway, like I said, that's all I got in this video. Let me know what you think about this article. Why do you think Patrick Graham left? Do you think he had good reason to leave? Do you think that maybe he should have stayed on? Let me know what you think in the comments section. I always appreciate you watching. One last time, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And hey, subscribe to the Baddog Fitness channel down below. It's Bad Diggity Dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. I'm out. Peace.